What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Jet's Fishing Adventure. We're out here at the house again. Sorry for not uploading a video last week. We had a huge snowfall and I couldn't get to the lake. But we're back this week. And this week's actually the start of a new series that I want to call Beginner Guide to Kayak Fishing Tournaments. So I get questions all the time asking, how do I get into kayak tournaments, and what kind of kayak tournaments I want to get into, what kind of gear that you need for kayak tournaments. So we're going to dive deep into this during these, I don't know how many episodes in this series, but today we're going to go over the safety aspect and what kind of tournaments, and we'll dive deeper into it as the weeks progress. It's the beginning of tournament season. We're fixing to roll into February. There's already a big tournament happening this weekend, and I'm looking forward to helping some people trying to get into tournament fishing. I've been tournament fishing for 4 years now, 4 or 5, and it's one of the best things I've done. It's fun. The camaraderie is one of the closest knit people that I have found, and it's just a blast to go out and hang out with people, fish, and you can win some money. So without further ado, let's dive into this episode. So there's 2 major types of kayak tournaments currently, and that is online tournaments and in-person events. The online, you can jump in. Most of them have either state-specific tournaments or an overall nation tournament. So the benefit of an online tournament, if you have a little honey hole that you can catch some big fish out of, you can go and fish that little honey hole and potentially win some money. I don't typically do online tournaments just because I enjoy being with people, the camaraderie, as I said earlier. My favorite is the in-person events. There's 3 categories that I like to put different events into, and that'd be the national level trail, which you have Hobie Bass Open Series, the Bassmaster Kayak Series, and Kayak Bass Fishing. So that's your pro level, your national level tournaments. Then you take a step below, go to regionals. So as of right now, we have here in Tennessee the Tennessee Bass Nation. Georgia has a Georgia Bass Nation. I know Florida has a Florida Bass Nation. There's a lot of states getting the Bass Nation series into their state. And my buddy Steve Owens, if you live in a state that does not have a Bass Nation, reach out to Steve Owens and he can set you up. And then the 3rd level, which I would recommend anybody that is a beginner that's not familiar with kayak tournaments to start out on the grassroots level. What does grassroots mean? It's just your local trail, usually in a central location. Here in Tennessee, we have an organization called CAST, Kayak Angling Society of Tennessee. And we have 12 different clubs in our region, in our whole state. Whatever club's closest to you, you just want to go and fish, or you want to travel some. But it's just a little local trails. And then at the end of the year, we actually have a championship. So whoever qualifies for that championship, they go to a determined lake and fish for that state championship. The grassroots trail, the competition is a little less, and it's not always less, because you have some of the big hammers that fish the national trails that fish with us. The grassroots is a very laid back, there's money involved. There can be a pretty good bit of money that you can make in, but it's, for the most part, it's kind of laid back and more your weekend warrior. After starting fishing with a grassroots club and you enjoy it and you got it down pat and you're doing good in it, I would recommend stepping up to the Bass Nation or that regional trail series. And then once you start doing good in that, that's when I think you can bump up to the national trail, and you can probably do pretty good. That's what I personally did. I fished with my local club for like 2-3 years. I felt like I was good enough, and then I stepped up the Bass Nation 2 years ago, and now I've started fishing the national level trail last year and the year before. So in this year. So that's a good way to not just jump in. I don't want the beginner to jump into a national level tournament, spend $200+ on entry fee, and not catch anything, and then get discouraged from not entering any more tournaments. And that's confidence is the number one thing in fishing. I don't care what anybody else says. If you don't have confidence, you're not going to win. So building that confidence is a must in kayak tournaments and any tournament really. So I get questions all the time on how is the kayak tournaments judged, and to a lot of people it blows their mind that we don't weigh the fish, but you can't put a live well in a kayak, or they haven't figured it out yet. So how we do is by inches. So you take a hog trough like this. This is a catch board. It's kind of an older one. I love this is my good luck one. And so you measure the fish on there. As you can see in some pictures that I'll put up now, you just got to hold them a certain way. Most tournaments, you got to have the mouth closed, fish facing from right to left, the tail not pinched, and your hand not over the gill plate. As you see in the illustration that I have on screen now, that's it. That's the approved way that you can't get any deductions from. And then you have to have the identifier, which is released either that day or you get an identifier at a check-in the previous night before. That way the judges know exactly that you did not catch that fish the day before and you're not cheating. So you may be asking, what gear do I need for a kayak tournament? The number one thing is always safety. Safety first. If a trail does not require you to wear a life jacket, I would not fish that trail. Every tournament that I've ever fished, that is their number one rule. Must always wear a life jacket. And there's some odds, like if you need to take off a jacket, you can pull up to the bank and take it off. But always wear your life jacket. That's just a smart thing to do. That's number one. Number two is a 360 light, which Yak Attack makes this one. You probably can't see it, but it lights up. And a safety flag. As you can tell, I've used this a lot, and they do get a little rugged after a little while, so I'll probably be getting a new one here soon. The third thing, you need to have a catch board, which I've already said why in the last clip, but most tournament trails now require you to use a metal catch board. They have the Catch X, which is a lighter one, and then they have the OG, which is this one. This is my favorite one. I've won a lot of tournaments with this board, so I kind of hate to retire it, but I'm probably fixing to have to make sure that it's all clean. Try to keep it out of the sun. I don't do a good job at that. How are you going to take the picture? Well, you need to have a smartphone. The smartphone you'll have to download. There's two major apps now. It's the Tourney X and Fishing Chaos. I prefer Tourney X, but to each is their own. I have not used Fishing Chaos as much as I have Tourney X. I've heard it's been improved a lot, so I'm looking forward to using it sometime soon. Of course, you have to take pictures of a fish. One thing that is a very big benefit and is not required, but to have a tourney tag holder. I currently have been using, and I love this one, the Blue Fox Gift 10 tag. It comes with a pouch that you can put an actual ID card in. It's Velcro, or it has this little plaque that you can actually write your identifier if they don't have to have the card. This is a very good catch board holder, the little 10 tag. I love it. And then I have the Catch ID holder on my board, so it's a very easy to take pictures of your fish. Have this off to the side where you can get it in the photo. Just remember, if this is not in the photo, that fish does not count. So I know a lot of people have gotten DQ, have had fish DQ'd because the whole ID is not in the photo, and it can hurt. It can cost you a tournament. I've seen it plenty of times. Other than that, I think that's about all that you need for a tournament. I've done a lot of tournaments, and it helps when you have other stuff like a motor, electronics, a really nice kayak does help, but it's not required. You can go, I've seen plenty of people win tournaments paddling a kayak, a little cheap old kayak. So don't let having a cheap kayak keep you from doing tournaments. It's fun. Nobody's going to judge you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first part of the kayak beginner guide to tournaments. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe for more. See ya.